going to try and do today is we're going to try and get 3 or 4 common variety fish that you can get up on the reef, and we'll do a smoking taste test. Yes, scientific method yet again. So I'm after, say, a trevally, a goatfish, a grunt, and hopefully a small doggy to compare, because we all know that dog snap is my favourite. So let's try and get all 4 of those. If we get 3, well, our science is going to be a little bit lackluster, but that's okay. What do you expect from this channel?
Woohoo! I love Eagle Ray, especially on toast, people. Just kidding. I'd never smoke these. Wouldn't fit in the bloody smoker. Too big for the smoker. Too stupid for the smoker. Too dark for the smoker. Too spotty for the smoker. Too angry for the smoker. Too much in love to be in the smoker. Too long and thin with too many sharp teeth to go in the smoker. There's a lot of love around here, people, but not much on the boat. Again, too much love here for the smoker and indeed the boat. Finally, a Goldilocks fish, but it's a trevally.
So what we're going to have to do is pretty bare here. I'm going to have to go outside. I snuck outside to get the trevally. I'm going to have to go out again and get a small doggy. So we've got 3 different types of fish to try out. Now for my next juggling trick. Okay, we've got a jack. I think it's called a bar jack or a blue line jack. We've got the tiniest dog snapper I've ever shot in my entire life, but because we've got plenty of fish, lots of fish to try, I didn't want to get a big one. Terrible shot. That's what happens when you shoot upside down, forgetting which way you got to shoot because the shaft's all bloody bent. But upside down it's a bit different, so you actually have to compensate because the shaft is full anyway. It's a bit different. And this is a Spanish hogfish. Now, don't write in and complain. This is not a parrotfish. Yes, it is a pretty reef fish, but there are hundreds of them. They tend to not get much bigger than, say, that. This is probably one of the larger ones I saw today. It's still a small fish. They're supposed to be really, really good eating. It's been ages since I had one, so let's test it out smoked. Alright, well, we got a veritable feast. Well, I've tried to get, a blue striped grunt and a Spanish grunt, but there were none around. The Gooners are eating those predominantly. The Spanish grunt, the blue striped grunt, and which is sort of orange and blue, and also trevally. Is done, and we've got some roe out of the trevally, so that'll be excellent smoke. Alright, can't wait.
Ingredients: fish sliced and rubbed with salt. Smoking material are coconut palms, small flame, 2 Dodgy sinks, and 12 to 15 minutes later, you have one of the best eating meals you'll ever have. Woohoo! I reckon the smoke alarm's going to go off now. Now. Okay, I reckon the smoke alarm needs a new battery. All right. Now, this is probably going to be 3 meals for me. But in the interest of science is very important, people, even in my blog. We've got 3 different fish, way more than I can eat, but I'll eat them later on as well, and maybe tomorrow. Let's do the taste test, people. We've got sweet potato and ordinary potato with virgin olive oil, salt and garlic. But let's just taste the fish first. The fish have just basically been salted. Let's have a go. Well, the Spanish hogfish is excellent. And the jack is really good too. Wow. Hold on, let me just try the jack again. They're both really, really good. I actually prefer the jack, but this is really good as well. Spanish hogfish is supposed to be delicious, just like the hogfish. They're the big ones with a fluted mouth. Incidentally, do you know why they've got that fluted mouth like that? What it does, it goes near the sand, it fluffs up its gills and its mouth, and then it blows blows water into the sand, and it fluffs up all the sand and all the crabs and little prawns and all sorts of things, and then it goes and eats it up. All right, enough of the lesson. Let's just check out what the dog's like. And as per usual, the dog is the best. I must admit, it is a small one, so the dog snapper is not normally the best smoked. I mean, it's excellent smoked, but the best one is grouper smoked. But because this is so small, this is really good. All right, well, look, people, I think we've got a winner in all 3 categories. They're all got different flavours, but they're all excellent. Now we know they're all good. You can go catch some for yourself and smoke it. I'm sure barbecue, the jack might get a bit drier than this, certainly. So it might not be as good. But there you go. Nothing but quality, subjective, experimental science method. Nothing but quality on this blog. And if you know anything about science, you don't ever want to have subjective in any experiment. Just for your information. These are the GoPros we use for the underwater footage. This 6, as you can see in this still, is got a lot of deposit. Basically what happens is when you dry it out, yes, we do rinse it, but even when you rinse it, tiny little bits of seawater still, it's probably diluted from when you rinsed it, dries out along this seam and basically creates a deposit. It's most likely a carbonate, probably calcium carbonate, but it's probably got magnesium and other elements in there too, but it doesn't really matter. The most important thing is I know it's a carbonate. Now, from high school chemistry, I know if I get some kind of an acid, it will eat away that carbonate. I'm a little bit, look, I've got this screwdriver, very fine screwdriver, and I was going to scrape away. Now, I'd be really, really, really reluctant to scrape away along here, which is close to where the seal rests, because any tiny little scratch is just going to wreck it. So I'm going to definitely treat that chemically and try and rub it off with a Q-tip. Here, it's because it's so thick, the layers, I reckon I'm going to have to probably scrape it as well. But I'm going to soften up with some vinegar. Now, vinegar is ethanoic acid, IUPAC name, sometimes called acetic acid. Very, very mild acid, and hopefully it will eat into, that's in here by the way, that's not my drink, and hopefully that'll eat into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bead along this. Look, if I'm going to treat this chemically, I'm going to treat this chemically upside down because I don't want any of the vinegar going in here. Oh, incidentally, I should point out that I don't have internet, and I haven't had internet for a long time. And so I haven't had a chance to check up on how to clean these as, you know, other people have done. So I'm just making this up as I go along. So maybe you want to do a search first and see what other people do. And don't just go follow this crazy channel, all right? But I'm not going to do anything. Look, I do have some muriatic acid, which is hydrochloric acid, and it's quite strong. It'll eat through an aluminium can in, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. The trouble is, it also eats into some sorts of plastics. I don't want to ruin a GoPro just to make a nice clean seal when I can probably get away with it using a very mild acid like vinegar. So that's what I'm going to do. I took the sliding seal door off and treated it with vinegar. The bubbles are CO2, and eventually all the white deposits were eaten away. I really can't believe it's working so quickly. I thought it was going to be at least an hour because vinegar, or ethanoic acid, is really a mild acid. This is the finished job. Notice how there are no white marks around here anymore. I didn't bust a gut to clean it completely here since these edges are on the outer side of the seal. They only interfere with the seal when the deposits distort the sliding seal door, and so I already removed most of the bulk, so it's all good. There you go, people. You can learn something in high school and apply it to the real world. I could probably make some bombs too, but I shouldn't say the B word because, well, I'll probably be taken to Guantanamo Bay. Sorry, people, about the bomb joke. No making bombs here, just cleaning GoPros, just in case. They're so paranoid, these people. Oh my goodness.